Welcome to CFA Level 1 Practice Test 1. Part 3. In this session, we will solve 11 questions from the Ethical and Professional Standards domain by BISP Trainings. Question number 1. Following a disciplinary review, a firm is required to compensate clients who were disadvantaged by an employee's violation of Standard 3B, fair dealing. For one such client, it's determined that the violation will result in a reduced investment return of $1,500 per year for the next 4 years, with the first reduction occurring 1 year from now. To provide a lump sum compensation today that covers these future expected losses, what is the most appropriate amount if the agreed discount rate is 6% per annum? A. $5,198. B. $5,510. C. $6,000. D. None of the above. Answer is A. $5,198. Question number 2. A company has adopted a new accounting standard that materially alters its reported earnings. When an analyst assesses the potential impact of this adoption on the company's equity price, their most important ethical obligation under the CFA Institute Standards of Professional Conduct is to A. Inform clients that equity prices typically react positively to increased reported earnings. B. Adjust valuation models immediately to reflect the higher reported earnings before deeper analysis. C. Prioritize the analysis of the new standard's effect on the company's underlying economic performance over its effect on reported figures. D. None of the above. Answer is C. Prioritize the analysis of the new standard's effect on the company's underlying economic performance over its effect on reported figures. Question number 3. An investment analyst is aware that a company's recent adoption of a new accounting standard will lead to a significant, but temporary, increase in its reported earnings. This increase does not reflect any change in the company's underlying economic performance. If the analyst, in a research report, emphasizes this earnings increase to suggest improved company prospects without adequately explaining the accounting change's impact and its temporary nature, this action would most likely be a violation of the standard concerning A. Misrepresentation. B. Priority of transactions. C. Diligence and reasonable basis. D. None of the above. Answer is A. Misrepresentation. Question number 4. Regarding the GIPS standards, which statement best describes the process of verification? A. The verification is mandatory for a firm to claim GIPS compliance. B. Verification applies to specific composites to ensure their performance accuracy. C. Verification is an independent third-party review of a firm's claim of GIPS compliance. D. None of the above. Answer is C. Verification is an independent third-party review of a firm's claim of GIPS compliance. Question number 5. Lee, a portfolio manager, is reviewing 2 equity portfolios. Portfolio P has an expected return of 10% and a standard deviation of 15%. Portfolio Q has an expected return of 8% and a standard deviation of 10%. The current risk-free rate is 2%. Lee presents Portfolio P to a client, highlighting its higher expected return. He states that Portfolio P's risk-adjusted return, as measured by its Sharpe ratio of 0.533, is competitive. He does not present information about Portfolio Q's Sharpe ratio. Which of the following statements is most accurate regarding Lee's conduct? A. Lee's conduct is acceptable because the Sharpe ratio for Portfolio P was correctly calculated and disclosed. B. Lee's conduct primarily violates suitability standards, as Portfolio P may have an inappropriate risk level for the client's dealing. C. Lee's conduct is most likely a violation because he failed to present information about Portfolio Q, which has a higher Sharpe ratio. D. None of the above. Answer is C. Lee's conduct is most likely a violation because he failed to present information about Portfolio Q, which has a higher Sharpe ratio. Question number 6. Sarah Chen, CFA, is discussing a potential investment in Alpha Corporation with her client. She states, Alpha Corp's reported earnings per share for the last fiscal year was $2.50, and its current P/E ratio is 15. Given its strong management team and innovative product pipeline, I believe the stock is undervalued and will likely outperform the market over the next 12 months. Which portion of Chen's statement is most accurately described as an opinion? A. Its current P/E ratio is 15 candidate. B. The stock is undervalued and will likely outperform the market. C. Alpha Corp's reported earnings per share for the last fiscal year was $2.50. D. None of the above. Answer is B. The stock is undervalued and will likely outperform the market. Question number 7. John, a CFA Level 1 candidate, is applying for an entry-level analyst position. On his resume, he states, possesses advanced financial modeling skills and extensive experience in portfolio construction, equivalent to a CFA charter holder. John has only passed Level 1, and his experience is primarily limited to academic projects. John's statement on his resume is most likely a violation of Standard I-B misrepresentation because it A. Guarantees futures performance. B. Misstates his qualifications and experience. C. Fails to disclose his candidacy in the CFA program. D. None of the above. Answer is B. Misstates his qualifications and experience. Question number 8. David Alpert, CFA, is a portfolio manager at an investment firm that outsources its client record storage to a third-party vendor. Alpert learns that the third-party vendor has inadequate security measures, potentially jeopardizing the confidentiality and integrity of client records. According to Standard V.C. record retention, Alpert's responsibility is most likely to A. Inform his supervisor or compliance department about the vendor's inadequate security measures. B. Disregard the issue, as the third-party vendor is solely responsible for record security. C. Personally connect clients to warn them about the potential data security risks with the vendor. D. None of the above. Answer is A. Inform his supervisor or compliance department about the vendor's inadequate security measures. Question number 9. Sarah Lynn, CFA, is advising David Miller, a risk-averse retiree seeking capital preservation. Lynn is considering recommending either a direct equity investment in a startup, a form of equity financing for the company, which has high potential returns and high risk, or a diversified equity index fund. To comply with the CFA Institute Standards of Professional Conduct when discussing the return potential and risks of these options, Lynn should most appropriately A. Recommend the stratum if its projected returns are substantially higher than the index fund, regardless of Miller's initial risk aversion. B. Provide a balanced comparison of both options, detailing their respective return potentials and risk profiles in relation to Miller's objectives. C. Prioritize discussion of the startup's high return potential to secure Miller's interest, briefly mentioning the index fund as a less exciting alternative. D. None of the above. Answer is B. Provide a balanced comparison of both options, detailing their respective return potentials and risk profiles in relation to Miller's objectives. Question number 10. Which of the following statements regarding the definition of a firm for GIPS compliance purposes is most accurate? A. A firm's definition is solely determined by its legal registration. B. A firm can be a vision if held out as a distinct business entity. C. A firm must encompass all asset management activities of the parent company. D. None of the above. Answer is B. A firm can be a vision if held out as a distinct business entity. Question number 11. A CFA Institute member works in a jurisdiction where the local laws governing investment advice are less stringent than the CFA Institute Standards of Professional Conduct. According to Standard I, A. Knowledge of the law, the member is required to adhere to A. The local laws. B. The CFA Institute Standards of Professional Conduct. C. The stricter of the local laws or the CFA Institute standards. D. None of the above. Answer is C. The stricter of the local laws or the CFA Institute standards. Thanks for watching. For more learning videos and tutorials, subscribe BISP Trainings.